Hello, everybody. Welcome. I hope everybody is doing well. And this is Dr. Rao. I'm a physician, yogi, informatician, and currently I'm a CEO, Chief Wellness Officer of BA PAL. It's a couple on promote wellness all over, and really kind of taken a position that we should promote as a community, as hospital systems, all the modern health systems have been rooted in just profit motivated, just fix bandage to the problem. Really go into the depths, especially chronic diseases, right? Our is okay and excellent, actually, and then surgery. So many other departments are okay. There's a chronic diseases that I really am very disappointed. And hi, Nazli, welcome. So I kind of always want to really help people to be well as much as possible, as long as possible, as well as possible. Okay, my motto is to promote wellness um, all over, and also really help them to live long, well enough, and also kind of joy, not in misery. Many people really subsist here now as vegetables by the medications. Otherwise, they don't have any life. I get very sad when I go to the nursing homes to see the patients, and there many people are really vegetables like, very frail, very sad to look at them. They don't have any joy in their life. Occasionally, somebody will come and visit them, but some people will come regularly. But most of the people are neglected. It's a reflection of the society, daily habits, and all that. Anyway, I do promote wellness, not only for myself, for everybody, and then we still will have acute illnesses, we still have accident, we still need surgery, we still need so many things. But generally, can we live a regular life where we can go and work and come back to the families um, rather well, and also really maintain a good health so that we can enjoy our life, our work, our relationships, and all that. I say that is more possible when you are consciously implementing some known preventive measures that we have, or the ones some we can learn from the ancients, like I did. Live close to the nature, go internally and find out about your mind and calm that mind, and also really understand we are all in one energy, so we can live more harmoniously with that feeling. Okay. See, one such segment or a statement that I put in there to here is self, that is described as universal consciousness, or uh, Brahman, Buddhahood. So many places where they say the consciousness is pervading all of us, and we manifest out of that consciousness. That is the big S self, not the individual small s self, but the individual self. It encompasses not only the animate, inanimate, both humanity, animals, and vegetation, everything, right? Inanimate also. Whereas the other statement says all in self. That means we are all in the self which is pervading us. It's kind of everything is innate, we come out of it, go into it, something like that. Okay, it's like a divinity we're talking about, that is pervading all of us and in us and around us. So in that sense, you can see everybody in the um, in the divine self. Then it is much better to be compassionate, to be empathetic, to be because basically you are we, I am you in that being. then that is the highest ethical standard, I think, which we can really appreciate in our life, as we are all equal at the core. We are all the same at the core, or we are all in one energy. Even modern science, if you take it, physics, for example, if you go to the strands and all that level, they do agree that we are all in one energy. Even in Einstein time, they kind of established that all energy is one, and we kind of live in it and or dissipate it and come back to it. So basically, the life energy is only one, that is prevalent for all. This statement is important because many people live with a sense of separation from that one unity, right? And then that separation breeds suffering because you are always trying to go back to who you are. That's why when you hug somebody, or when you really go to an animal and be there one on one, without the instinct of killing it or anything like that, then they feel comfortable, you feel comfortable, because you are touching that energy where we are all in one being, right? So this statement is uh, actually, it is taken from Advaita Vedanta, where they talk about uh, interconnectedness of all, one energy, and also this divine self. And also, they talk about harmonization of all religions in this perspective, right? They can have individual ways of worshiping Lord, individual, that's all fine, that's up to them. But then the people who really look at all religions are only, identifications with different populations of humanity. They don't see any difference. Okay. On the other hand, if you have harmonization, how much bloodshed we can avoid? Look at what's going on with Israel and Palestinians, and the way the indiscriminate bombing taking millions of people, and also the things that other party committed on Israel, and then making them feel so insecure, and the drastic things that they did. It's all doing to one another, the same humanity, right? In that sense, I kind of feel very sad. Even at this stage, people did not lose that instinct of treating other people as separate, and they should be killed for me to be alive. And in the process, look at thousands of people are dying on both sides. But this is not new, though. This has been going on between Russia and Ukraine, or before the Iran-Iraq war, or before some other wars. Somebody said at one time to me, at any given time, there are 50 wars going on in the world. Some may be small, some may be large, but two groups are fighting where many people are dying. So that's sad, right? Uh, but when you come up with the perspective, here we are all one human breed, and that is that we are all one in that self, in that energy that gives us life, right? And once you understand that, then that could be a very good ethical principle based on which we can coexist and be here in life, and be joyful in whatever you're doing. Otherwise, uh, these wars, divisions breed a lot of suffering, right? Lot of joy is gone, because when you lose your limbs, when you really die, how sad it is. So for me, it's all like a back to the tribal instincts, where one tribe killed another tribe. That way we haven't been civilized enough, right? And actually, it is going down the other way, right? So that is there. So these kind of statements really bring that fact that we are all one to me. Okay, that interconnectedness is very important. Even if you take my experience as a physician, see, I was brought up in India, became a doctor there, and then right after the my MD degree there, I came here, and then I did my residency and I began to practice here. Um, but then I was in Chicago for 8 years, and also in New York for 5 years. And then I came here, settled down in the Midwest, right? Because I was, you know, close with the Chicago area people, and I have a lot of friends, a lot of activities, everything I did in Chicago, right? So I came back and I felt homely here, right? And then I decided to stay in Iowa and practice, and then I kind of retired from that too. But then, in the 4 decades of practice that I did, I saw almost all countries people. In Chicago, so many varieties of people. In New York, obviously, the melting pot, so many cultures, so many people. And also in the practice, maybe a little less than New York, but still I saw so many different people, different countries, different cultures, different religions, and all that. At any point, I never miss the point that person is a human being, may have different beliefs, may have different ideas, may have different thoughts and all that. But the core is the same, right? Once I kind of stayed there, it was much easier for me to really relate with the patient and understand. And they also felt comfortable because there is no division coming from me, right? So that is keeping our heart clean, our mind clean by understanding these deep philosophical principles that ancients explored. And then lately it has become more available to people like me. Otherwise, you have to go to some mountains, learn some new languages, and take some religions and all that. But now I can stay in the United States, and if I'm interested, I can explore these matters just by allowing myself to be investigating them and then finding the truths and all that. I don't have to be anybody's, uh, you know, student or slave. I don't have to be joining a particular religion, which I don't profess of any religion. I take everybody's wisdom, but I don't have that separation. So you don't no need. Science is there. Do we have divisions where we want? No, science says one truth is truth, not. We may prove some of things are not right, and we may add up to that, but then they are always for the truth. Real spirituality is also like that. For me, it's like investigating the inner truths and existential realities, right? One of the existential realities that we discover is we are all in one being, one self, and that is divine, and that is harmonizing all religions. See? So, this kind of principles breed harmony and friendship and camaraderie, and also really enjoying the fruits of life from our own investigations. Inasmuch as I was brought up as a scientific doctor, which I am still, I do pay attention to the studies, to the discoveries, to all those things. Okay, immensely beneficial for us as humanity. But at the same time, I pay attention to the ancients' work on the inner self, not outer, inner self, and finding out what kind of things we are made up of internally, why we have these various conflicts internally, and what kind of mind we have, what kind of feelings we have, what kind of perceptions we have. All those things, they went very deep and then found some very interesting answers. If you really understand them, that understanding itself flows through your life, where you're going to be not perturbed by any small things. You're going to be kind to everybody. You're going to be unselfish to begin with, fearless, and wanting the beneficence of everybody. To be, you will be doing the benefit for other people just by your being, just by being kind, just by helping out. Okay, the dictum is this: I'm here to help. That's it, and then everything flows from that. So these kind of inner truths that were discovered by the ancients are worth paying attention to. And I'm not saying you follow them blindly. What I'm saying is listen, reflect, think on them, reason on them. And then once you find, oh, yeah, this is true, then let it come into your life. Allow it to pass through your life. That's what I'm saying. Okay. That's why I bring up these sayings and all. Actually, there is a blessed living in the sense you are living alone. That means you are by yourself, independent and all that, but you are not cut off with everybody, so you are not lonely. So you don't feel like I'm cut off everybody. I don't nobody. They may not commit to your mental level or investigational. That's fine. But first of all, you live lightly. You live in light being. You live internally serene, calm, peaceful, and happy, joyful, bliss. All those things are there. They put one word, ancients, the Sat Chit Anand. What that mean is our existential self. See, we all exist, right? That existential, that itself is the consciousness, that is the Chit, and that itself is the Ananda, that's the bliss. So, blissful, conscious existence. Once you are in that being, then your body is not a problem for you. Body's problems are not your problems. Mind is not a problem for you. Mind's problems are not your problems. So you can see them and you can be unmoved by that, and then you can solve them better. Okay. So doing exercise is not a burden, and it's a joyful thing. And thinking is not a burden because you know how to live consciously, and innumerable benefits that way. Okay, but everybody has to discover them for themselves. So if they have any problems, then I will be able to talk to them. My perspective, not according to any particular theory, but from the intelligent point of view, what could we think about it? What we could share, exploring that. For that you got to think at the same level. Usually that is difficult. People don't care about these things, but then I found a lot of answers to the suffering. My life suffering disappeared, and any problem comes, I don't suffer from it by my own reaction. What I do is I kind of keep that fluctuating mind in check, and then take up the problem and solve it with the solutions that we already have. Scientifically we have lately, but then if you take the wisdom wise, go back. Go back to where the people were simpler living outwardly and higher thinking inwardly. Modern life has become like a very, very complex life outwardly. They kind of, go out to the senses, make problems for themselves, addictions and all that. Or they think too much and they cause problems or depression, anxiety, on that. All those things, there are solutions. So living like that. So I was talking to my son who is in Des Moines as a teacher, and he had an infection. So we kind of talked about what he should do, what is the things that he can do by being more natural. Like I started with at night time, you kind of sleep on a positive or empty thought, and in the morning when you get up, you have a good, nice bowel movement, and then exercise, and then breakfast, and then through the day, just being having the breathing once in a while, and also the office yoga I teach him, and also I tell him don't react but respond to whatever that is coming up. These are the modern things where we are accumulating stress without even knowing. We react so quickly, we depend on, we are slaves to the comments, slaves to the sayings, slaves to some small things that happen in our life, right? So I was training him how to really rest. What does it mean to rest? Physical rest, fine, but what does it mean to rest mentally? That's what I was trying to teach him. There's a routine that we can follow, and at the same time exist in modern life comfortably without getting the bad effects of our modern rush, going after things and don't make any difference for us, and then also really wasting our mental energy quite a bit, right? So there are so many ways that we could live from morning till evening. I was telling him, get up in the morning, sit in the bed, take deep breaths, and don't touch your devices for half an hour or 1 hour. And then go. and pay attention to whatever the live things around you, and then go and really exert your body. You don't have to do only yoga. You can do walking, you could do the treadmill, you could do anything that you do, right? Exert your body, deep breath, and then have a nice vital heavy breakfast, and then start. And in the work, what you do is you pay attention to everything, and every 1 hour just spend 1 minute with the deep breathing. And in the middle, if possible, I teach what's called office yoga, that you can do sitting in the chair. This is for the people who are sedentary and always sitting. Don't do that, okay? And then in the evening when you come home, take time to unwind. Don't drink, don't watch valid movies. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about uh, just give some time for you to unwind, to reflect on the day, to look at what happened in your mind, and give up all the unnecessary things. Then, when you go to sleep, go on a positive mind. It's a very simple routine, right? So, but there are so many principles involved. In the hurry and really hasty and hard work that we do, we are wound up. Sympathetic tone is increased because we react emotionally to things. They cause the sympathetic tone to increase. And that's why you got to really breathe deep to nullify that. Okay. And then attention span is going down because of all the multiple interruptions that we have, right? By design, social media does that, right? So when you do that, what happens? You know, so it is a very, very important thing to understand that read live what it does, and also try to get some benefit of the work you are doing. Try to enjoy it. If not enjoy it, make it like a boring work, like a task. Like I'm going to complete this boring work in 10 minutes instead of 30 minutes. Okay, that could be challenging. Then that boring work become automatically a challenging work for you because you put a challenge for yourself. So there are so many simple things that you can do when you are balanced, when you are in charge of what's going on in the day. So I can talk so many bits of advice for that, but according to the people's problems, I do help them basically eat better, exercise optimally, rest better, sleep better, and also manage your mind better. That's the more important thing for us. Okay, we thought IQ is the only thing. No, there is an IQ, there is an EQ, and there is a SQ. Okay, IQ is you know intelligent quotient, intellect, sharp. That's it. But then these days people use that to only at the expense of the emotional quotient or at the expense of spiritual quotient, right? So what I show them is how those things also can be brought in and be useful for us in a big way. Okay. So suppose you have high emotional intelligence, then you can be a source of support of somebody, and you can also understand somebody is really behaving irrationally or impulsively or hurtfully to you. Without getting hurt, you can really help that person to get out of the problems that he had, right? And the spiritual quotient is where you can see you are all in the same energy. We are all being to only one, not to only particular religion. They are all labels, but underneath all, we are all in the same energy, interconnected, oneness of all. All that helps us to develop empathy very easily, to act with a lot of consideration, kindness, and um, probably love. Because if you don't have the separation from the other people, that itself is really getting rid of the egoic and all that, then you are showing the love for them, right? So you don't have to say that, but you can accept them for what they are, and then also help them for what they need. Okay, so all of these things are uh, possible when you really go into the deep questioning of existential issues. That is where I kind of value the ancient wisdom because they have already gone deeper. But then, it is interpreted or it is kind of done in a poor way, which is not really good. Okay, so that's a lot there. I hope that is okay. How is that, Nestle? Any problems or any questions, Laura?
Well, Dr. Rao, I just kind of got in on half your discussion, but I do agree with you that exercise and good breath,
Yeah,
meditation,
yeah,
and taking time out, even after you've gone to work and you come home.
yeah,
I definitely agree with that.
yeah,
Kind of a decompress and regrounding
yeah.
is important.
Exactly. Decompressing is very, very important. I said unwind, the same thing. But you're absolutely right, because we don't give time for that. We always, even the vacations I saw, when I went vacation, we took quite a bit of vacations, short vacations, because I didn't have time. So I could go for from Friday to Sunday, right? So we kind of made the best of the time. So what my thing was, I don't want to run to so many things in a day, but really connect with the family, enjoy one or two things leisurely, so that we are rested, we are kind of rekindled and all that. So we used to go to Chicago for different things. I know Chicago very well, so I was able to take my family to lake one time, or downtown one time, or northern part where there is a lot of beautiful things you can see. So I took them different things, museums and all that, right? So every time we went, like there's a botanical garden. It's a huge one, and we went there and we took hiking there and all that. So it all depends upon what kind of quality time we had in that vacation. That is decompression we can have, rather than accumulate more struggle by going to so many things in one day, just because you had to do all those things. No, enjoy yourself, whatever you're doing. So that kind of thing. This is a very much needed by many people. The doctors I train for the burnout, the nurses I train for the burnout, or the IT professionals for the stress that they are going through because of the information overload, and the company leaders I train for the servant leadership, or any number of people on the social media. They all seem to think that, okay, stress can go on, we don't have to do anything on the daily basis, but then turn to smoking, turn to alcohol, those kind of things are there. So all I'm saying is, go to the highest level of humanity you have. You are a human being, you have all these inner qualities that are divine. Go there, and then you don't have to be addictive in anything. Even the books or even the social media, anything you don't have to be. So those kind of inner strengths that we have, we need to bring them out. Make sense, Laura?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. That's one thing that I am really working on.
Yeah.
Coming up in the new year. I mean, I've been working on it for a while, but I'm working on it for the new year.
Okay.
Because, like, last week for me, I was like really overwhelmed and stressed because I'm working a lot, and I had set boundaries.
Yeah.
On how many, like, I only want to work 5 days a week, but I allowed people to say, oh, well, I just need you for a few hours on this day on the weekend, right? And I realized, even if I'm only working 2 hours on that day, it's still my day off.
Yeah.
And if I work 2 hours, that really means that I still worked that day. I didn't have that day off.
Yeah, yeah. Preparation of the going to work and coming back to the work, all that things like that. But listen to me. What I was doing is, when I was a young doctor, and I was given a big post, and so I was really subject to a lot of stress. Okay, we didn't call burnout. Probably I'm near that. Then suddenly I discovered these philosophies. And then what they taught me was, don't approach work as work, approach work as service to the divine people that you are around and all that. That changed a lot because the time factor has gone, the deadlines are gone, and I was looking at every opportunity they used to call us for the night calls, and also the whole thing is destroyed. Families any plans and all that. So, but then if I go to the attitude like really cursing them and all that, I found myself to be stressed out. But when I changed my attitude to service, lot of things changed for me, Laura.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a stress buster in the way. So how we approach whatever given to us uh, makes a lot of sense to me, at least.
Yeah. Well, when you say like you approach it differently, like I'm an end of life doula. Okay, so I help people when they're older and they may be on hospice, they may not be on hospice yet. Yeah. But I'm usually talking with the family, going, they may need more help than they are getting right now. Definitely. And so we need to have some sort of care plan for the future. Yeah. Right. Demanding. And families get really stressed, but then they don't have a plan. Yeah. For the future. I know what you're talking about because I was a geriatric person in the early part of my career in Chicago. From 83 to 85, I was in geriatric medicine. So I was very familiar with the hospice patient. And our hospital was a chronic disease hospital. So a lot of patients, 100 patients, 110, I think, in the acute care. But the rest of them also, the 700 hospital, around 500 some are in the chronic disease, right? One of the units is this hospice, where we have to go and see these patients. And the patient's families always complain about missing that. And sometimes I found they are feeling guilty because they have not taken care of them when they were doing well, and they have come here after everything is gone, so they want to take it on somebody. Not all, but some people. So many family dynamics play there, and they try to take over. So understanding that helped me a lot because I was a chief of that wing, so I had to oversee the physician. So when the troubles came with the families, they used to call me. I used to go and sit in the meeting and they resolve the conflict. Right? So many of the times they may be complaining of things that are small, which the staff may not have neglected, but they don't have the time because they have so many other patients to take care of. So balancing that was very difficult because the patient's family was demanding lots of times out of their own guilt. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's a better way to kind of think of it. Yeah. And not take it personal.
Yeah. Not take it personal. Yeah. That's the thing. Because what it is in servant leadership that I teach, you always want to serve the needs of others. It's not like I am the boss. I'm going to tell you, and first I have to see my name, my fame, my advantage, and all that. That goes away. Then you are going to be servicing the needs of others, means that you are more compassionate, more empathetic, more kind to them, and that way, actually, you get benefited by the good vibes that you portray.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I love my job. Yeah. I love the people that I work with.
Yeah.
But sometimes, like you said, the family dynamics can get a little mucky.
Yeah, that's the challenge that you face in your hospice work because I know about that. That's why I told you about it. But then there is so much going on there because the person is dying and people are really conflicted with a lot of things. There is another thing too. Many people don't understand death in this country. Many people have not seen anybody dying in their house because most of them die in the hospitals or in the nursing homes and all that, right? So
Right.
there was a big debate happened in 1980s or 90s where national debate happened about euthanasia, national debate about people who are dying and all that. So I was invited to this board in our district, and we went and talked about it. But basically, what it is death is seen in every home and back home in India. But here it was not so. So people are shocked when somebody dies. And also, there is this Asian cultures have this understanding there is rebirth, right? So they always believe okay, death is not a end itself, but it is the beginning of the next life, right? So different paradigm. We don't know what is real or not, but at least people had a better handling of death when you're brought up in that atmosphere. You see what I mean? And so that is also a problem because people think, oh, this person is leaving. It's the end of this, what it is, and all. And sometimes they fight to the end when the intubation is there, and they don't see that's a lot of suffering for the patients, even though all the organs are gone. They want to keep it. So all these problems happen because lack of understanding what is birth, what is death, and all that.
Yeah. Nazil.
Yeah.
Nazili.
Nazli.
Nazli.
Hi, Nazli.
Hello. Hello. Dr. Rao, I wanted to ask if we model the mental states for a person, depression and lively state, with having a like death drive and like lively mode. I don't know how is the correct way to understand. What is the antidote to the death drive to not fall into depression? Thank you.
See, all these things are really not able to understand how the mind works, what is the mind's role, and how much mind should be taken for serious, how much it is not. This is where all the meditation systems and beyond meditation systems that happen, right? So um, it's a question of understanding thought is a movement that comes and goes, right? Everybody knows we have one thought in the morning and another in the evening, and then go on. The moment that you hold on to one particular thought, that can become repeated cyclical thought, and then it will be on their own. So if the thoughts are negative and you keep on thinking negative, you go into depression, right? But if the thought is positive and you go on thinking about it, that positive thought can help your health because a lot of good hormones are secreted because of the positive thoughts. But to be just positive and not to encounter negativity is very, very difficult. What you can do is you can always change the negativity to positivity. That is the cognitive rephrasing, we call it in English, but in Sanskrit, they call it pratipaksha bhavana. That means, suppose you go to some place, where the beach, right? And the beach is crowded with people, right? And you wanted to have a relaxed, nice atmosphere, few people, but then something is happening, concert or something. That's why you find that overloaded. And I've seen people getting into vacations like that, and then it is not according to what they imagined, what they wanted. They immediately go into race because they don't have any control of the trigger of the mechanism, and the thought sick over and then go after it. They never try to control their thought when they are normal. So now it goes out of whack. People go into rages, people go into depressive modes and all that because basically they don't understand the movement of thought and how to really relax that. One of the simple things is deep breathing really cuts down the thought. So whenever somebody is upset, people say, "Hey, take a minute and take deep breaths." They say that, but there's a lot of truth in it. So uh, if you are practicing deep breathing every day, you will definitely have benefit because you are stimulating parasympathetic nervous system by deep breathing. That encounters excessive sympathetic overload, which we talked about, this winding from the morning till evening, hurry, worry, and constantly irritated, constantly cursing and all that, right? That's not good for your own health. Your own anger is not good for your own health. So, understanding the movement of thought in any situation, like death or anything, will help you a lot. After all, everybody knows we are all going to die. But then many people fear the death because they don't know what is beyond. So, one of the biggest things that the ancient wisdom handles is about death. You know, they don't say this is so, but they would examine and they would say, okay, your body made up of all physical material and all that, that is going to come dust to dust, right? That is going to come and go there. But then that is a temple that you are using to keep your divine self within and then work in the world, right? And the mind is also same. But what you are will never die. So there is a poem, very famous poem, Najayate Mriyateva. What is not born can never die. So this conscious spirit, after we leave our physical bodies, travels on, and that's why it doesn't have the death. Once you are established in that, you don't have a fear of death. Make sense, Nazli?
Thank you so much. You answered my question. Thank you.
Yeah. So that's how these insights help us to. You don't have to accept them. What you need to do is think on them, reason them, and find out why that is so. Because if you accept somebody else's saying, then you won't get it. But if you think on them, reason them, and then out of your own uh, exploration, you come to the real truth, then that makes sense. It has to be your truth. Then you can really uh, uh, allow it in your life. That's what the Advaita Vedanta has three kind of things. Shravana, Manana, Niridhasana. Shravana means listening. First, listen completely without any prejudice, concepts, all that. Then manana means just think over it, reason it, and all that. And the third one is like, how come I can employ this in my life, allow this to happen in my life. So these are the existential issues. Okay, what is the purpose of life? Where did we come from? Where are we going? What happens after death? Then how is that we have this intelligence to think about these things, to go to the future and project some things and plan some things. Like, for example, when I first came into the country in 1981, laser was just being talked on. My chief gave a lecture on us, but then that was already projected in Star Wars in 1970s. So it's a question of all these scientific sci-fi dramas that we see. They have these tools and things that they project, and later on they become scientific facts. So many things I see like that. So.
Very cool.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. When I first saw the Star Wars, 1970, India, big theaters, right? And they have this 70 theater, and then there's a very decorated, fabulous theaters. Once you go there, the soundtrack is also follows you like very nicely. So McKenna's Gold, for example, we saw it when he fires that gun. You can hear it all over the theater like that. I saw Star Wars in one of those 70 theaters, and I was fascinated by the technology, the special effects and all that. But I didn't know there is a philosophy behind Star Wars, and that was the Advaita philosophy which I am talking about now. I didn't know, I have no idea at all. And later on, I became to discover that because George Lucas came on and said that it was based on this philosophy, where all these sages are the, Yoda and Jedi, all the Jedi's, they always meditate for everything. But I didn't have any idea how that place. They found about this force. That is the force I'm talking about here. The self I put in there in the heading, that is the force. Force is there. So based on that philosophy, I understood the world and universe better. And then there was Jeffrey Lawrence, somebody, an author. He talked about this Star Wars and this philosophy and all that, and that made a lot of sense to me. I have that book also. That is called Yoga of Yoda. I mean, Yoda, we love him for his appearance and all that, but he's a great master, right? And he was based on that kind of philosophy, I believe. So it's an interesting tidbit as you come to know. Look at the irony of it. I was born in India, but I have no idea of this philosophy because nobody contemporaries talking about it, right? And I was a modern bred scientific doctor. And after I came to this country and the stress I faced for the modern life, answers came from the ancient philosophy, which was there, but I never knew about it. Right? So that's one of the reasons also I come and share, because a lot of people are not familiar with these things. So as a physician, as a yogi, as a person interested in relieving suffering for people, I study this, and then they turned out to be very beneficial for me, blessings for me, right? And so now I just share some of these things, not with any intention, but just to help the wellness and suffering.
So is it closer to like Hinduism?
No, Hinduism is Hinduism later on. Hinduism came later on, but this is above. Is like it doesn't identify with particular religion, but Hinduism kind of based on real philosophies that were there. But then this Advaita philosophy says we are all one. Advaita ante not two, only one. Right?
Okay.
In Hinduism, for example, there's a lot of ritualistic and all those things there. But the Hinduism is a name given to later on, right? But if you go back beyond the Hinduism, when there was no identification, anything, that's when the philosophy applies to all things on earth, not particular country even. So that's important to understand. Otherwise, people claim we are better than you, our philosophy and all. That is not there in this. This applies to everybody. More so now, like somebody like me, I don't accept Hinduism as the superior to anything else, or I don't belong to any particular religion, right? Because they divide. But whereas a rational, scientific person that is thinking about it, this makes a lot of sense. Life is only one. In all the life, we are all together, that kind of thing. You see?
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah. So
I do have a religion, but I can accept other people's view on religion, and we all are energy. We were here before we came to Earth, and we will be here after the Earth.
There is a harmony among all religions. Honestly, people make it up. But if you take Christians, I kind of read Christ, and then what he says is, to love as a human being is my religion. That stuck with me. That stuck with me when I read that. Also, a lot of things, Advaita Vedanta, he also talks about there's only one man, and the man is all over. A lot of things he talks about. There was a scholar, his name is Alan Anderson. He was a professor of religions and ethics in San Diego. Okay, he had a major discussion with another sage, J. Krishnamurti. J. Krishnamurti doesn't belong to anybody. He always says we are all one. That's it. They had a major talk in that they talk about several religions, but they come to the last point. Everybody says the same thing at the end. I think that is true. All religions say the same thing, but we kind of interpret. They should not be uh, tool to fight over each other. That's my objection. That has become the lately Hindus kill Muslims, Muslims kill Hindus, Christians kill Jews, Jews kill Christians. All this is going on, right? And that's why I don't belong to any particular. I'm a global citizen, Laura. I always claim that I belong to the earth, not any particular country or particular religion. But we can take the good from those religions, you know.
Yeah, yeah. If we would all would just send out love to everybody,
Yeah,
it would be a whole different world.
Yeah, that's it. Because why that is not happening is we isolate ourselves as individuals. We separate from the unitary nature of ours.
Yeah. Well, COVID didn't help with that.
Yeah, I know COVID is still going on, and COVID really taking its toll. I saw a lot of people having problems from that. Anyway, thanks for coming up, Laura.
It was fun listening to you and talking with you, and and have a great week. Or maybe I'll hear you again. I've followed you before, and you're always good to listen to. So
I have
a blessed day.
No, I have a new Facebook group. It's called Conquer Burnout, and I'm coming on in the morning 10 o'clock there to have discussions like this. And if you wish, you can look it up and join there and come and listen to us.
What's it called again?
Conquer Burnout. Burnout.
Burnout. Oh, okay. Yeah, because I don't want to have burnout.
Yeah, that's why I'm going to take these issues and discuss elements that are causing burnout and solutions for burnout, and encourage people to use those solutions to not to succumb to burnout. So
awesome.
Okay.
Awesome.
10 o'clock Central Time tomorrow. Okay.
10 o'clock Central Time. Yeah. So I'm Eastern Time, so that would be 11 o'clock.
11 o'clock. Yeah.
11 o'clock. Okay. Well, I'll try to tune in if I'm not working.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Okay. I'll see you then.
Have a blessed day.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, everybody on the LinkedIn. I'll see you again.